This is a Monday.com ad. The same Monday.com helping people worldwide getting work done faster and better. The same Monday.com designed for every team and every industry. The same Monday.com with built-in AI, scaling your work from day one. The same Monday.com that your team will actually love using. The same Monday.com with an easy and intuitive setup. Go to Monday.com and try it for free. Yes, the same Monday.com.
Welcome to Ask Amy from What Fresh Hell Laughing in the Face of Motherhood, solving your parenting dilemmas one question at a time. This week's question comes from Amy, different Amy, over email, who says, first of all, I absolutely love your podcast, and I'm still catching up on previous episodes as I want to listen to all of them. Highly recommended, Amy, that you do so. I just re-listened to your Bedtime Routines podcast from 2020 to get some much needed advice. I actually have 8 and 11-year-olds, and we are having trouble with bedtime. I am spending 2+ hours with the whole routine, and it goes without saying, I am getting burned out. I can apply some of the tips from that episode, which was geared more towards little kids, but do you have any tips for these ages? Anything is appreciated, Amy. All right, Amy, let's talk through this, because how this got to a 2+ hour routine, I mean, been there, I have been there, but from the outside, I can say that's too long. There's too much going on, and we have to address that there's a routine that takes that long. My favorite thing to do when there's something that's really challenging is to consider, what can I add and what can I take away that might make this thorny situation easier? So let's start with what you might take away. I'm assuming that 2+ hour routine includes baths and showers. I'm wondering if there's something you could do where that doesn't happen every night. Is there something you could do where they brush their teeth is right next to where they're watching TV or playing video games? Is there something you can do to make the up and down, the number of transitions that they have to do on their way to bed, take that down, make it fewer? On the other hand, is there something that you can add? Is there something that would really motivate them to move through their bedtime routine faster? When my kids were that age, we were reading a series of unfortunate events. I'm a ham. I love doing all the voices and things like that. And that was really motivating for my 8-year-old and PS my 12-year-old, who was both too old and not too old to come in and listen. Adding something like that they only get to do if they move through the routine more quickly, the reward of more time with you, the reward of staying up an extra hour on Friday nights. Maybe there's something like that, an extra special time that they can have, a little more screen time on Saturday mornings, something that they get as a motivation for moving through this more quickly. Adding that might really help. Speaking of screen times, I'm wondering if you can make those sort of an if that are subject to homework and chores if they do them, and getting their pajamas on and getting their bags in the front hall for the morning, whatever the things are that they need to do in the evening, that they do those first, that you're not rolling from dinner into homework and to looking at phones or looking at screens, and now it's 9 and you haven't taken your bath yet. If you can put screen time, if it's occurring before the bedtime routine, make sure it happens after the bedtime routine, if at all. And they might time out. And it might be 10 o'clock, phones go away in the kitchen. 10 o'clock, TV goes off and you go upstairs. It might be 9 o'clock, right? Because let's roll this back. For school-age children, the American Association of Pediatricians recommends 9 hours of sleep a night for 9 to 12-year-olds. And a lot of kids don't get that. So Amy, if your kids are getting 9 hours of lights out time in your house a night, give yourself a back pat. You're doing a great job. If they're getting 8 hours, you're doing a great job too. But we want to get them to 9 to 12 hours a night, because we know sleep is so important for kids' developing brains. It's so important for their coping skills. And another thing I want to suggest is that you actually bring the kids on board with that. You find articles, you find things that are aimed at them to show them, like, you want to sleep, because when you're not getting enough sleep, guess what? You have trouble with your grades. You have trouble with your friends. You have trouble with how you feel. You have trouble with how bouncy your hair is, whatever. If there are other things in your kids' lives that aren't going exactly the way they want, more sleep is almost always the answer to those things. Arming them with that knowledge and that motivation might be another way to get them to turn out the lights a little sooner. Your involvement is also a part of this, right? You have to walk it back. If you're spending 2 hours of your evening saying, come on, come on, come on, I already told you how many times, if that's become part of the routine, then that's become part of the routine, right? It's become like the dog that thinks you say, sit, sit, marshmallow, sit, 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 sit. If you say that 8 times before she sits, all I've done is teach my dog that I say sit 8 times and then she sits down. If that's become part of the routine, making mom mad, the predictability of you're going to ask them 4 times before they actually have to get up off the couch, then revisit that too. There's a back to 1 possibility that might have to occur here, including screens, phones. Like I do this back to 1 every couple of months with my family, like phones in the kitchen. Let's take the phones away at 10 o'clock at night. Let's put the phones away. My kids are older, so it might be 10, 11, might even be later. But you have to kind of play along too. I'm going to turn off the TV and go to bed. Yes, we could watch another episode of this show, but it's 10 o'clock. Let's go get started. Sorry, I keep saying 10 because that's when I like to go to bed. But I do know for an 8-year-old, it does need to be earlier than that. But give yourself a break. You're doing the best you can. There is a lot for these kids to do at night, sometimes a little bit too much homework, sometimes sports, sometimes there are many things they need to get done in an evening. So I would start, Amy, with what can you take away from the routine, which includes both steps in the routine and the amount of your involvement and the amount of your haranguing that happens. And what can you add? Sleep really is so important, not only for your kids, but also for you. So putting in this extra effort in will really reap some rewards on the other side. Send us your parenting questions and we might answer yours next. Email us questions@whatfreshhellpodcast.com. Thanks for listening.
Close your eyes. Focus. Listen to work getting done with Monday.com. Relax as AI does the manual work, while your teams are aligned on a single source of truth. Feel the sensation of an AI work platform, so flexible and intuitive, it feels like it was built just for you. Notice you're limitless. Now open your eyes, go to Monday.com, start for free, and finally, breathe.